Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Queen of Wands. This is someone with a lot of afterthought, you know. This is somebody who's looking at the past. All the queens of the tarot look at the past, okay? And this one's looking at the past and looking at how much effort you've been putting into something. It's kind of assessing like all the long days, right? All the sleepless nights, all the wear and tear on your body, all the cost of it, right? The financial cost, the emotional, mental, energetic cost of something. Was it worth it? Okay. In some ways, this card is saying, well, if I quit now, then I've basically thrown all of that energy away. If I keep going, and if I succeed, it makes all of that investment worthwhile. Okay? We need some more cards around this energy to see what really is going on, to see what the situation is for you. Ooh, Knight. Wow, that's interesting. This is fire and water. Okay, Knight of Cups. Queen of Wands. The Queen is water in the suit of fire. The Knight is fire in the suit of water. They're sort of inside-out cards, right? That's kind of crazy. I like that. We've got an inside-out card here. The energy now is looking forward. Okay? And this is thinking, was all the effort I put into it worth it? Will it all be worth it, right? Did it cost too much? Well, this is kind of saying, in the future, I see my satisfaction. I see the worth. I see the value and the meaning of this, right? So we have looking at the past and we have looking at the future. And I think these two cards together are saying, yes, something that you've been investing in, something that you've been putting your energy into it is really worth it. Let's keep going with our cards here. We see the Magician. Oh, of course we do. We see the Sun. Of course we do. Two of Wands. Yeah, maybe you feel at a crossroads. Maybe we sort of feel like, you know, are we at that? Is this the moment of truth, right? Where we're kind of deciding, do I go forward or do I cut my losses and retreat? Is this the point of no return? You know, right now you can still back out. Moving forward, it's like, okay, I've decided not to back out. I'm moving forward, all in. Yeah, all in with something. And there is a fixed water energy. This is someone who's focused on the present. Okay? So I think that this is, we kind of see a problem, we see a conflict, and we see a resolution, right? We see a problem and a solution here. That maybe you are at a crossroads here where it's kind of like there's something in your life that's saying, if you want to get good at this, if you want to make this really successful, you have to make it your life. If you want to be a master of this, Magician, if you want to be the best you can possibly be at this, you have to quit doing all those other things and just do this. You know, it's like, you want to be a dancer. Do you want to be a dancer? Do you really want to be a dancer? Okay, then you've got to quit doing baseball. You've got to quit doing music. You've got to quit doing martial arts and just dance. If you love it, make it your life. Right? It kind of feels that's what's going on here. We've got a weird combination of fire and water here. Okay? We've got the Sun and the Magician. There is a sense of knowing that you want this more than anything else in your life. And if that really is true, and maybe this is the week, you know, it's kind of Spirit saying, okay, take a few days, make sure it is really what you want, and then go all in. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay? All right. We have the Death card. We've got an 8 of Swords, 3 of Wands, and another future card, the Knight of Swords, which I like. I like that we're ending with the Knight of Swords because it's kind of like you understand what this is going to be requiring of you. If you really truly want to do it, if this is your identity, if this is your true self, if this is really your true will, and this is your destiny, this is your orbit, this is your fate, then you got to go all in and you've got to make a plan. You've got to be able to see this plan all the way through till the end. The Knight of Swords is looking into the future at the 10 of Swords and thinking, okay, what is the logical progression of things? You have to know what you're getting into. Yeah. It's not just a matter of you got to make it your life. No, you got to really understand kind of step by step what is going to be asked of you, required of you, if you commit to this. Okay? This is really strong energy here. I think this is your fate, this is your destiny, and you've got this magician underneath the surface. This is something that you do want to be a master of. This is a life that you really do love, and I think you really do want to make this your life. Whatever it could be, it doesn't have to be dancing. It could be anything. It doesn't even have to be like a physical skill. It could be anything. Committing yourself to something, knowing, I wonder, let's select the mystery card. So I kind of feel like we need a lover's card here somewhere, don't you? It feels like that would be the appropriate energy, but we'll see. We're going to select a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right over here. We're going to put Bubo, the mechanical owl, right on top. We're not looking at that card till the end. But if you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. We can do it together. We can make it a group exercise. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. We have 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies. The sun, of course, is your identity. The sun is the source of all light and life and love. Okay? It is clarity. It's you being able to see cosmically past, present, and future, past lives, right? Future lives. And being able to see what's happening right now. I feel as if you have gone through an awakening. I feel like you're somebody who has had a big-time spiritual awakening in the recent past. Okay? That's given you a sense of kind of like what you're meant to do in life. It's given you the perspective, this cosmic perspective. You can see your orbit. You can see where you're supposed to go in life. And I feel that has brought you to this present moment where, you're on that path and you're coming to this crossroads now where this is that point of no return where it's like, okay, if you really do believe in yourself, if this really is who you are, this really is your identity, then we have to do what it takes to become the very best that we can be at this. Okay? If this is your true self, the magician is allowing that light of your true self to flow through it and transform your life. Okay? The magician is a pure channel. It's a clear conduit of divine light. Really, it's kind of like it's going this way, right? Or maybe this way. The divine light is flowing through you, and it's allowing you to influence the direction of your life. You're influencing the course of your life here. Okay, and we're either in harmony with the fundamental force of change, of evolution, or you're against it, right? And I think that's kind of what the Two of Wands is saying. You're at that moment of truth where you've got to really decide, is this it? Are you all in or not? Maybe you've been sort of sampling the energy, and it's time now that you either do your business or get off the pot, We either go all in and commit, or you sort of give it up. Now, it's very possible that you can't really accept what it's going to cost. Queen of Wands is someone that does not want to pay full price for something, right? And so we don't we don't necessarily like the cost of this. So it could say, okay, you want to be the best dancer, you want to really learn how to dance and get really good at it, you've got to quit all those other things. Just dance. Well, maybe the Queen of Wands is saying, I don't want to do that. I'm going to quit dancing because I like the other things I'm doing. Collectively, I like them more than I like the dancing, right? And it doesn't have to be dancing, but I think you're trying to compare and contrast these two. How much it costs versus how much you want it. Right? If we really want it, if we really feel like it is our destiny, there's no price that's too high. Okay? But we're wondering now, okay, this is going to be expensive. Maybe money, maybe time, energy, right? It's going to cost a lot. Do I want it bad enough that I'm willing to pay that cost? Whatever that cost might be for you. I think this week is kind of you got a few days to decide, but don't wait too long, you know. So we're thinking of the past, of the investment, and then of course the outcome, the return on that investment in the future, past and future, right? What we have with the future position, we have the Prince of Cups here. And this is the one living in the present. And it's a Prince of Cups. It sort of, to me, feels like you're following the path of the water. You're realizing that, yes, you do want this bad enough, that you're willing to pay the high cost of it. And here you are now, committed to it, doing it. Okay? But in order to get yourself to this point, I think you have to, go through the struggle of thinking about it and feeling it out and really, to wrestle with it the way the fire and the water in the middle here are kind of wrestling, the way the Two of Wands is kind of showing the wrestling. Okay? The Magician, of course, underneath the surface. I think this is the week you really step up and you really say that, it's, this is the way life works. If I want something bad enough, I got to pay for it. I got to work hard. I got to put in the time, the blood, sweat, and tears, the effort, the energy. Right? Nothing is free, right? Mercury, Hermes will tell you that, right? Everything has a cost. Nothing just lands in our lap, right? So I think this week is where you have to ask yourself if you can pay that cost. You want it bad enough, yes. And we're not talking finances here at all, I don't think, because, for one thing, we don't have any earth cards, right? We've got fire, we've got water, we've got air, and we've got our air here, and we have our major arcana, of course, right? And the major arcana is, again, this is outstanding energy. If you can receive that light and you can conduct it clearly, if you can be a clear channel, a clear conduit of that divine light, you're going to change your life. Right? This is kind of saying that, yeah, if this really is who you are, this really is your path and your destiny, you're going to do whatever it takes, and you're going to become the very best dancer that you can be. Right? You're going to fulfill your will. You're going to fulfill your destiny. That's what these cards are about. You have to be aware in a very real way of the cost and the plan, what it's going to take. Okay? The Two of Wands up at the top here, I feel like you're learning how to kind of say yes in your life a little bit more. Because I think that you very often, you want things, but you kind of say, it's too much. It would take too long. It would cost too much. It would take too much energy, too much effort, or maybe money. It would just, it's asking too much. And I think that you've denied yourself a lot in your life. A lot of things that you really, really want. And you just say, no, I'm going to pass on it. I think right now is potentially another one of those moments where maybe you're kind of leaning toward passing on something that really could be the fulfillment of your destiny. And I think the major arcana cards here speak for themselves. But there is still, even though I think you know that this is who you are, you know that you have this potential, to be the very best that you can be at this, and you know how much you want it. Still up here is that too. That's, I don't know if this is conscience, if this is like maybe like your dad's or your mom's voice in your ear from long ago saying, it's too much, don't get it. It's not a good investment, right? It's too expensive, you don't need it. Yeah. And so I think that this is always sort of looming over your head, and I think that it's made you a very conservative kind of person generally. Maybe with money, right? Maybe you tend to, you ask yourself, do I really need that thing? I don't really need it. It's not essential to my survival, so I'm going to say no thank you to that energy, to buying that thing or to doing that activity or to taking that chance or to indulging in that opportunity, whatever it is. I think you have a habit of kind of telling yourself, no, I don't really need it. It's okay if you don't really need it. It's not crucial to the survival of your being. But what if you really, really want it? Then what do we do? Right? Well, I think we see what we're doing here with the Prince of Cups. Because that's somebody that's living their authentic self. That's somebody that is trying to be their authentic self, living their authentic life. And saying, yeah, I may not need it. There's a lot of things in life that we don't need, but we're not trying to live that austere of a life, right? We're not ascetics, right? We're not monks. So we're not giving up everything in life that is sort of extra, But in this case, it's not extra. Because this is your deepest identity. This is what you really feel right now is the closest thing that you can find to your spiritual truth. And so living authentically, there's no price too high for this. If it takes you the rest of your life to learn how to dance, that's okay, Because it's the joy, and that's maybe the mystery card is going to be a 9 of Cups. It's the joy of knowing that you're living your authentic, you're living your true life. You're living your truth. It's not about the measurement of how good a dancer are you, or do you ever make it to Broadway or wherever dancers go. I don't know. Maybe a bad metaphor. It's not about the achievement. It's about knowing that you're living your life in a real way. Knowing that you're being authentic. That you're being true to yourself. So even if we work our entire life to be a published writer, something, right? That's okay. Even if it never happens in our lifetime, that's okay. Because we know every day in our hearts, we know that we are doing what we're meant to do. So there's a difference there. We're not quite looking for the transactional, okay, I invest this much money, I expect a return of this much money plus a little extra, for the VIG. It's not quite like that, It's just saying if this is really truly your essence and your will and your identity and your soul and yourself, there's no price too high. And whatever the cost, this is how I'm going to live. This is what I'm going to do with my life. This is a card of doing. This is a card of action. It's not a card of having or acquiring or accomplishing. It's not a physical, tangible thing that says, look, I've got a published book now. I've accomplished my will. No, you accomplish your will by being the writer, by doing the writing. Right? It's not about what you write or how much you sell it for or who reads it. It's about you living that truth. It's an active, processual relationship with yourself and with, the world around you. And this is you living authentically. That's going to take us over to the path of the serpent. We start with the death energy. The death is slow, gradual change. Okay? It is a slow evolution. It is progress that is just sort of continuous. It's kind of the idea, too, that we have to let go of some things if we're going to move in the right direction. And so this, I think, really goes with that analogy of like, if you want to be the dancer, if that's you, if that's your identity, if that is your true self, you know, the one who dances, right? Then you've got to get rid of all these other things and devote yourself to that. Live that truth. Okay? Because death is the great recycler. You know? All the energy that we're spending on all these other things, we could take all that energy back and put it into dancing, whatever, put it into this thing, and that's going to be your satisfaction. That's going to be your joy. That's when you're going to not have any confusion. I think right now, you're looking at your environment, you're looking at your life, and you're just thinking, I don't know what to do. That maybe you have 20 different hobbies and projects and different things that you're sort of committed to and devoted to and that you want to do, and, you know, but there's still this feeling of, I'm not moving, I'm not making progress. I still feel kind of tied up in knots. I still feel confused. I still feel like something is interfering with the smooth flow of the creative will. Something is sort of obscuring or tangling up your inner self, your true self, in all these wires. Okay? It could be that we're entangled in too many things and we think that, oh, I like dancing, I like jujitsu, I like music, I like cooking, I like all these other things, 20 different things I like doing, and I'm going to do all of them. And maybe it's too much, and maybe we feel that in all that jumble, like we're just juggling all these things, we don't know which is the real thing. Right? You're juggling all these, let's say you're juggling all these rocks, and they're all yellow. You don't know which one's the real gold. You don't have time to stop and analyze one and say, oh, this was the one. This is the gold. This, I don't care about those other ones. Those are going to fall. This is the one I want. But we're so busy keeping all these things going that we may not really get the sense of which one is meant for us. So I think that's kind of a reason for some of this Eight of Swords energy. Some of this, I don't know if it feels like confusion. It feels as if there's no straight path in life. That it's a lot of different roads, and they're all really twisty and turny, circuitous routes to who knows where. Okay, it's like the freeway system in the U.S. or something. It just looks like a bunch of tangled up wires, right? We just want a clear path that's easy to follow, that feels good. We want it to be scenic, you know. We don't want a lot of interchanges. We don't want a lot of like having to stop and ask for directions. We don't want a lot of having to turn around, you know, a lot of twists and turns. We just kind of want the straight path. We really want an Ace of Swords, maybe the mystery card. So I think that this week is kind of you're going to recognize which thing you're juggling is really the gold. And I think it's going to confront you and present you with that sort of ultimatum. It's either you go all in with one thing, or you quit that thing and you just do the rest of these things. And the rest of these things that don't appear to be the thing, they don't appear to be satisfying to you. And now the next card is an interesting card. It's the Three of Wands. It's kind of like you know really what you need to do. The Three of Wands is the virtue. It's kind of like we know the right thing, but it's in the position of the obstacle. It's in the position of what we don't want. You know the right thing to do, but I think that there is this conscience. It's maybe the, you know, voice of your parents in your ear, something saying, no, don't, yeah, that's, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You got to have a backup plan. It's silly to want to do that. It costs too much. You don't really need it. It's too expensive, blah, 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 blah. But I think the energy that you really need is to understand that this is who you are. This is your authentic self, and this is what you're meant to do, even if it's a struggle, even if you don't get the immediate recognition for doing it. It's not about that. It's not about the praise and the accolades. It's not about you had a best-selling book and, No, it's about you doing what you're meant to do. And even though you might be hungry, even though you might be tired, and you might struggle, there might be setbacks, all those costs are worth it. All the late nights, right? All the long days are worth it because you're doing what you're meant to be doing. If you're having, long days and sleepless nights and you hate it, maybe you're doing the wrong thing. If you have all of these challenges, if it's costing you a lot, but at the end of the day, you think, I'm living my life. I'm living my true will. I'm living my authentic self. Right? That's the measure. The Knight of Swords is looking at the future and understanding kind of really what the long-term, what the sequence of events really is going to be like for you. Okay? And I think at the end of the day, this is kind of looking at the future and asking yourself, can you see yourself doing this for a long time, for the long term? Yeah. Are you willing to endure this? And I think there will be moments of sheer joy and pleasure. There will be difficult moments, right? Do you have what it takes? Remember, if you want to be the dancer, you got to quit doing all those other things and just dance. But not just right now today, but for the foreseeable future. Okay? So you have to be aware of that. That it's going to be your commitment to dancing, not just today, but tomorrow, next year, a year from now, a year from now, a year from now. Now, of course, you can always change your mind down the road, right? We always have that ability. But if we're already thinking like that, then we're not exactly all in. So just as an exercise or a thought experiment, or just as a token of commitment, let's assume that we commit to doing this now, and it literally is for the rest of our lives. Just to ask ourselves that question so that we can say, okay, yes, I am willing to do this for the rest of my life. There isn't no cost too great for me to be my true self and live the kind of life, follow the sort of current of life that feels true. Let's look at the mystery card. I had a few ideas here. I think an Ace of Swords, maybe Empress, maybe, I don't remember what else I said, maybe 10 of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. 3 of Cups, yeah. Oh yeah, celebration. The 3 of Cups, I think, it's wonderful. I think it's a fundamental, foundational kind of joy. It is not saying that every day is going to be a good day. It's not saying that every moment is going to be bliss and happiness and pleasure. No, it's saying that you are living a life of abundance. There is an underlying current of joy when you're doing your true will. Even, there's good days, bad days. We're going to get the 5 of Cups here and there. Underneath it all, at the end of the day, you're going to go to sleep knowing that you're living the right life. Yeah, that's good. That's a good feeling. You're going to sleep really, really well at night, knowing that you're making the right decision and that, it's costing you a lot, and it is going to be challenging and difficult, and it's really demanding, and it's asking even more and more and more from you. But this is going to sleep with the satisfaction that it's all worth it. Okay? Now, what else is worth it is the extended reading. And we're going to do that now if you want to stick around. There's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.